people, that's the BLC. They won, right? It's like, so now to the victor goes the spoils. They won, bro. They like, and I'm not tripping on the BLC because I don't have any ill will towards them.
The BLC?
The Business Leadership Council.
No, see, I don't even know that.
Right? Well, but they're, see, so my thing is, you know, that when this, right now.
Well, see, I'm guessing that the DLC is bigger than what I'm talking about. I mean, the DLC isn't. Are you talking about guys who would be in the gym rentals?
Yes.
Now, see, that's too big. I'm talking about the middle layer. The guys who have, like, Taylor Wright has 3 stores and like Brown Sugar. Those type of people need to make a plan and say, this is how you expand to make our businesses better and have more.
We're back. You are tuned into the Talk Chicago. You are tuned into the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Sitting in with me is former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger, and we are doing our post-election day coverage. And you know what? We're asking a social media question of the day. What did we learn from last night's election, and what's next for Black people? Give us a call, 773-591-1690. We're going to take your call. Now, also coming up at 7 o'clock, we will be talking about the Florida governor's race, which it seems as though Andrew Gillum has lost that. Is he lost that race?
Yeah, I believe he
did he concede?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to talk about that and that racism and everything that happened there, as well as we'll talk about Stacey Abrams at 7. But let's go to the phone lines. What did we learn? Where do we go from here, and what did we learn from yesterday's election? Janie, you're on the Talk Chicago.
I just want to say you are 100% correct. If you are riding dark, you should have the question mark, what's in it for the Black people? Yesterday when I voted, I saw Black people on a serious tip for the first time, and I think people are starting to wake up and realize it's not the kumbaya moment we hoped for and thought it was, and we just need to channel that energy into representatives who are willing to be not just simply gatekeepers, but doorbusters for Black issues. And where we are is we have to realize there was a time when the Irish and the Italians were not considered white. And what's happening now is the Hispanics are being given that opportunity to move up into that position over Black people. And we as Black people have to wake up and just ask what is, get our piece of the pie. Nothing against Hispanics or anyone else. What's in it for the Black people, and it's for our future, the future of our children. Nobody should have anything moving at City Hall as long as 50 schools in the Black community are being closed, and then there's money for new schools in Hispanic community.
Thanks, Jamie. I appreciate it. Thank you, sister. Thank you for calling. Ryan, you're on the Talk Chicago. What do we learn from yesterday's election, and where do Black people go from here?
Well, Black people probably don't. We talk about Black people leaving the city. Black people will eventually be out of this state. Maze, we already said the economic situation for Black people in the state of Illinois is worse than any in the country. See, this is what we learned. There is no more leverage. Your last caller talking about we need to get some of our power. You're not going to get it. But as the people who endorse JB and all these Democrats, but that's it. Maze, as Claude Anderson said, Black people are becoming a permanent underclass. So that's what we learned yesterday. There's nowhere to turn to. Politics is about leverage. They're not going to give Black folks anything, regardless of that speech. Mike Madigan, Pritzker, the Democratic Party will continue to disrespect the Black people. And you know what? There's nowhere for Black people to go. Have a good day.
Ooh, thanks, Ron. Art, you on the Talk Chicago? You gotta keep. What's up, Art? Art, you got 30 seconds, man. Do it quick.
First of all, Black people are not a permanent underclass. All that's garbage. That's all smoke and mirrors. Get up, close the conduct, take care of your family, further your education, and do whatever necessary. Black people continue to be successful in the areas. I say Black people. I say niggas. I say Black people. So all that other crap y'all talking about is crap. Black people are fine. May God bless.
Thank you, Art. Zakia, you on the Talk Chicago. What did you learn from yesterday's election, and where do we go from here?
Good
morning, Brother Mays. And Mr. President, Strozier, I want you to know I wrote your name in yesterday, if it's all right.
Thank you.
This election showed me that if you got big money, you can buy all the necessary people you need to help you win. And no matter how you insult black people or what you say against them, it don't matter, because big money overrides all of that. Integrity and everything. Just have big money. To hell with integrity, to hell with morality. Just have big money and you can buy folks. Now, I voted for little Erica yesterday, I must say, and I did that because I think she's sincere about working on behalf of the people, and I knew Kwame was going to win anyway. I voted for him in the past, and I don't have no allegiance to these candidates that don't even know me. Do you understand?
Thank you, Sister Zakia. I appreciate you for calling. Mary, you on the Talk Chicago 1690. What did we learn from yesterday's election, and what's next for black people? Mary.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
I was saying, Mary.
Quick point.
Go ahead. Yes.
I think that what you're doing is changing a mindset. You and Mark Wallace with the 10 by 10. So, no, we don't know what we're going to get right now, but we have been so conditioned to just give and not get anything in return. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing is a lot of people switched sides for Ronald last time, so that's how he got in. And I think the 90% with people coming out shows the masses or the people who run that if we don't get what you say, that we will come out and get you out. So, again, sending pictures, something that we want, we just need to do that. And we just have to stop saying what we're not going to get and change our mindset that we want something.
Thank you, Mary. I appreciate you. I got one more call. Katie, you're on the Talk Chicago 1690. What did we learn from yesterday's election, and what is next for black people?
I'm still in it, what's in it for the black people, because we still have to hold our ground and make sure that we get the contracts we need, make sure our neighborhoods are built up so that our children do not have to leave the city and the state that we were born in.
Katie, thank you so much for your call. Hey, look, y'all. Let McDonald's jumpstart your mornings with their 2 for $4 breakfast sandwiches. New to the lineup is the Bacon, Egg, and Cheese McGriddle. Thick cut, applewood, smoked bacon, fluffy eggs, and melty cheese. Snuggled between 2 warm maple-flavored griddle cakes. Smells something cooking.
You say smoked bacon and you got me.
Ooh, smoked bacon. You know, don't say that on WVON Morning Show. They'll say, stop that swine. You know, all our nation of Islam brothers and sisters. But I'm going to tell you, it is the perfect balance of sweet and savory. Now, you can also try an Egg McMuffin or a Sausage McMuffin with egg, each made with fresh cracked eggs, real butter, and a freshly toasted English muffin. So grab a friend. Hey, Todd, you know what? Let's do this. After we get off, let's stop by the McDonald's and grab a couple of these deliciously fresh breakfast sandwiches that are only 2 for $4.
My stomach's grumbling already.
Your stomach's grumbling. You know what, Ty? Because, you know, you always, when we leave out of here, you like, the day when you say, Maze, can I get a ride home? I always say, what you need, man? You say, Maze, just pull over the drive-thru. Because, you know what, you asked for the hot cakes and sausage.
You know, I didn't do that last time because I was feeling kind of guilty. I didn't want you to think that I was just one fat guy.
You was one fat. You know what, man? Well, I'm going to tell you. I think we might, and you know what I heard? That you can even get it delivered. So I'm going to ask Brother Patah. Brother Patah, you know what? Get us some Uber Eats and let's get over here and let's eat these McGriddles. I'm going to tell you, you want the bacon egg? I'm going to take the sausage. Let's make it happen. Hey, but we'll talk about it more when we come back. It's the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, Ty Strozier. We'll be back.
The Talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation.
Thank you, sir. Perfect ad-libbing.
Yeah.
You got some good chops, man.
I'm good at I told somebody the other day, I am the perfect sidekick.
You know what?
I'm not so great at being the guy out in front, but I'm good at being a poncho and all those types of characters.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, I have gotten a ton of compliments. A ton. People have called a lot. People have said, man. And I actually enjoy our conversations. It's way more conversational because I feel like I'm actually, like I'm not talking hypothetically, right? Like, so how do I explain it? The last time it's like talking to somebody who thinks they know what they're talking about, but like you telling me the story that I told you,
Uh-huh.
as compared to living it. Like I feel like you have real time insight, but the other thing I think you do is because I'm so way up here,
Mhm.
you're very, but you still got the quick punchlines though. So I actually,
Oh yeah, you see, you remind me of me, but with greater confidence and greater ability to plan.
so I have enjoyed this time. That's why I keep asking.
And a
Right?
much better car.
Ah.
Yeah, so that's why I'll take a ride. I'm like, man, this is nice.
What is this, velvet?
Yeah, I'm trying to get Kim going today. You gotta learn some movie lines so you can just pop them off.
You know what? That is funny. So Todd, you got the camera.
Yes, yes. But hey, I you know, Mace and I disagree. I agree with who was it? Katie who said that? Man, we still got an art. We still got our stuff. We got plenty of things. We got money. We got people working. The only thing we don't have is enough influence. It's influence that will change some of our conditions. Because what we live for, most of us, we're living for our children. I mean, I'm going to be all right in old age, and my wife will be fine. But you know, our children have to grow up in this world. And I want them to have a chance to be able to be whatever they can be. Isn't that what every parent wants? They don't want your child to have to be something. This is what we put in the slot for you. This is what you're going to do. So the only way to do that is if we band together. Because we are all living in this neighborhood, or living on the west side. Like Maze was saying, there's so many people now that are moving around and being rentals in that greater loop area. And those guys are going to have a lot of influence because of their numbers. And you know, they don't have the same kind of problems we have. My children went to school down in the South Loop. I don't ever remember running through a pothole. Maybe that really bad winter we had, there were some potholes, but they don't last long. They get fixed immediately. They're not going to have that area all screwed up. I mean, here you got the McCormick Place down the street, so you got people traveling back and forth. They're going to treat them a lot differently than they treat us. And the only way we force them to do what we want is, like anything else, is through working together. I was a little disappointed to see the elected officials didn't write an op-ed piece saying that they were against the Target movie. I think sometimes they tend to take it for granted that everyone knows that they are against something, or you know, they make it small. But you know, we need the whole city to know that we are against something. So I hope that the state reps and the aldermen have gotten together, wrote a piece telling why it's bad for Target to leave. I mean, Target, Office Depot, Best Buy, they all say the same thing. Shrinkage, which basically I think means they're saying that people are stealing, and that we don't buy enough high-end items for them to stay where we are. So if that's the case, you know, I want to go to Indiana if I want to go to Best Buy, or have to go all the way out to Cicero.
Really? Can I tell you what though? The people, I always say, so I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I always try to go to the ones in the suburbs because there's a different, like I feel like
No, you're right.
people who live in the city, right? So remember when Jewel Grand Bazaar, if you live in the city and you got a car and your Jewel is this one on Stony Island,
Yeah, 75th, yeah.
they could close that mug because I ain't never going there again. No way, no how, no kind of way. And it's like there is a balance.
Well, you know, the neighborhood forced them to do some improvements. So they forced them to put better lighting up and to improve the parking lot
What? Which one?
on 75th and Stone.
That shit is still terrible inside. I went in there and was like, we went in there because I forgot. Carrie and I went there just a couple, maybe about 2 months ago.
You know the University of Chicago students shop there too.
At that Jewel?
Uh-huh. That's where they go.
What?
Yes.
Man, we was in that mug and it was like, man, I saw more. I was traumatized after I left that store. Right? And you think about it.
You're a big shot now.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's like, but I think growing up.
An upgrade.
Huh?
They could use an upgrade.
Man.
Man, people love this group.
Come to your life. What up, Dap? Shout out to Derek Helm. Shout out to Vince Bass. I'm about to do jazz. I'm about to do jazz. I'm about to do jazz. No, I would. Everybody wants to rule the world. Last forever. Everybody wants to rule the. You are tuned in.
It's been my
Really?
honor to stand up to Governor Rauner in his sick quest to destroy the hardworking men and women of organized labor and to force right-to-work laws in Illinois. Not here. Not here. Well, tonight, the good people across this state and the power of organized labor came together to give a resounding defeat to Bruce Rauner, a full rejection of his bad ideas. And like me, they too believe that Bruce Rauner has a right to work someplace else. Governor, you're fired.
You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. At the top of the hour, you know I always say what's up to the WVON morning show team. What's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, as well as Miss Sonia Escobar. She is the musical conductor of the Soul Plane. Shout out to my man Todd Stroger, who is here. He has been here with me all week. Todd, seems like the people are working against us right now. I'm sorry. Seems like I got a little issues going on right now.
The Gremlins are back.
The Gremlins are back. If you see me on Facebook Live, check us out on Facebook. We'll be back. But check this out. I want to talk about that speech, but before we talk about that speech, we're going to talk about what went down in Florida, right? With the Andrew Gillum race. That was one of the highest, most contested races going down. And so here to tell us but he just conceded. I believe he conceded last night.
Yes.
It was probably one of the most racially charged elections I've seen in a long time. Here to,
Andy. Yes, it was.
let's talk so we're going to talk to Barrett Balali. He is from the Urban News Service and the Miami Times to tell us what exactly was going down in Florida. Barrett, welcome to the WVON Morning Show. How are you?
Very good, thank you. And yourself, Maze?
Man, I'm doing good, and I'm here with Todd Stroger as well.
Good morning.
Barrett, talk to us about this.
Good.
Talk to us about this Andrew Gillum race, because it was one of the highest profile races in the country. Everybody and their mom was in that race, and Andrew Gillum eventually wind up conceding last night. What happened?
Well, I think that's because Florida is like a linchpin for the takeoff for the 2020 election process here. And
So what actually did happen? Like, why did Andrew Gillum wind up losing? It seemed like, and I'm going to be honest with you, Florida being the home of Trayvon Martin, I have always been suspect, to stand your ground. Something about Florida always had a tinge of racial disharmony to it to me. Take Miami out of it. What actually happened down there, and why did it become such a racially charged issue?
Well, let me just give you a little background, just so that you understand that I may not have my finger on the pulse of everything here. I started covering this story from Morocco, where I lived, and I came here to cover the rest of the story, and I've been writing for the Miami Times articles about his candidacy, and way back to the primary, which he won amazingly. He was behind in the polls. He was in single digits, and he's still with the progressives and the people of color and the liberals, which are a little more far left. He was able to beat big money, big establishment Democrats who, he was running against 3 other millionaires and 1 billionaire, and he still won.
And
Mark Wallace Mark Wallace is one of the personalities of WVON, and he was saying last night he grew up in the same town, that it wasn't a miracle that he lost. It was a miracle that he was even this close in a state like Florida.
That's what I was thinking. Like, was there really ever a chance for Andrew Gillum to win? Was it wishful thinking? Because Florida is kind of racist.
He said, funny.
I think that there was a chance for him, and people were very hopeful. I didn't check statistics for governor races in the past, but the Democrats haven't held the governorship since 1994, when Lawson Child was the governor of the state. And so Democrats have been far behind in the state for a long period of time in both the houses of the state of Florida. So the fact that he lost by 75 or whatever thousand votes is quite amazing to me. And I started to look at the statistics and saw how the votes were coming in. I was won the urban areas, which he had to do, but he also had to contend with a red wave, if you can call it that, in the Panhandle, which is actually an hour behind the time zone of the rest of Florida.
Oh, wow.
And hence, when I saw that Gillum was like almost dead even, I knew he was not going to make it because the Panhandle was going to come through.
So now you mentioned the Panhandle. Talk to me about Florida, because there are distinct regions of Florida. Here in Illinois, we tend to think of Miami. Welcome to Miami. But there are, I always think about the swamp thing and the people in the swamps. And talk to me about the various areas of Florida. So is there what I believe it's northern Florida, central, and southern Florida? Talk to me about the difference between those various areas.
We're based in South Florida, okay? And you have a stark difference between the urban environment, which South Florida, for the most part, is an urban environment. You have a tremendous number of immigrants, Haitians, Cubans, Dominicans, Jamaicans, all kinds of people that make up the energy and the diversity of Miami, Orlando, and these bigger urban areas. However, you have, once you leave the comforts of that kind of diversity, you find yourself in a land of hayseeders and local people and pickup trucks and gun racks, because there are local people that have been here for God knows how long, as the South is, and they haven't changed much. So you have that contrast, and the people out there tend to vote more Republican or more conservative. And it didn't help that Ron DeSantis made the comment about as soon as Andrew Gillum won, he warned Floridians that they don't want to monkey this up. And that set off a whole course of racial provocations and comments, and Gillum, you know, he's proudly black, very proudly black, and he made his point clear that, you know, he's going to be black for the rest of his life until he dies.
Right.
And he's not, and people have compared him to Barack Obama, but I would say that Gillum is certainly as eloquent and as intelligent, but he's really an African-American man.
Barrett, we only got time for one more question, and then I got to let you go because I got to go to traffic and weather. But why didn't the 280,000 Puerto Ricans that came after the hurricane make a difference for Gillum?
Well, I think that, believe it or not, Rick Scott was, he took his position as governor to go into Puerto Rico quite often and to endear himself to the Puerto Rican people to some extent.
Let me stop you right there. I got to stop you because I got to go to traffic and weather. But I want to thank you for calling this. Barrett Bilali. He's from the Urban News Service, Miami Times, and Quartz Africa. We appreciate you. Hey, man, we're going to, as we continue following what's going on in Florida, we'll reach back out to you. Thank you for being with us. We'll be back after traffic and weather. But I do want to point out one thing before I go. Did you notice the Puerto Ricans didn't side with the black folks? We'll be back after traffic and weather.
We recognize that, you know, we didn't win it tonight. We didn't win this transaction, but I want y'all to know that is just it, a transaction. That what we believe in still holds true today. Earlier this evening, I called Mr. Ron DeSantis and congratulated him on what we expect will be him as the next governor of the great state of Florida. But I want you to know that in spite of our congratulating him on his victory this evening, nothing that we believe in is compromised. Y'all, I want to encourage you not to give up. I want to encourage you to stick to the fight.
I bet the Cubans didn't vote for Andrew Gillum.
I'm not going anywhere. We're going to fight. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to
More of the morning show with me.
All right, what have we heard about Stacey Abrams? Georgia, Stacey. Man. Vows to remain in, refuses to concede in governor's race. Democratic candidate is not conceding Georgia's race until.
And she should. It's almost personal. Their race is personal. She shouldn't concede.
Port exactly 0 vote. Those counties heavy Democratic. Yeah, man, but you think 77,000 vote by mails came in?
No, but
you just got to make them work, right?
As you know, they have been fighting for like 4 or 5 years, so it's not like she's going to give up to a guy who's been trying to kick people off the road since she's been in this kind of activist mode.
William, you about to get a bounce real quick. Somebody get William before he gets started. Before I get started. What's up, y'all? Take a moment, share the broadcast. Let everybody know that we are back. We are back. Can I say what's up to everybody who's rocking with us? What up? Howard Trout. No, Tiger. Alicia did not win. Shout out to my girl, Alicia Benford. But Alicia got swept up again. No. I am telling you all, if I was a Republican in DuPage, Will County, I would be shaking in my boots. Because I'm here to tell you, they opening it up on y'all right now. Right? And you got all of those. Helene is up by 1 vote. 1 vote. That would be that literally. Her husband won Congress by 249 votes. She right now, when we talk, one vote, one freaking vote. Think about that the next time you don't talk to a person that walks by you. Phil Strong, what up, bro? Hey man, let me tell y'all what. Y'all, for those of you, I'm honored that Phil Strong would check in on the WVON morning show. But just so y'all know, if for those of you that were in Chicago during the 90s or the 2000s, early 2000s, shout out to Phil Strong of Phil and Nate Productions. Do y'all remember Phil and Nate Productions? Do y'all, man, they used to have the best parties. And Phil Daddy used to be like, Phil, do you know the Strongs?
No.
Phil and Tina Strong, they live in Marynook. They grew up in Marynook.
Super
tall.
How old are they?
My age.
No.
Tina Strong.
I was in college.
Anyway, he's the sound guy for Common as well. Proud of you, brother. Doing this thing, one of the top sound guys in the country. WVON's 4th annual South Suburban Jazz Crawl, a weekend of music and fun. Now it kicks off November 16th. That's right, Ladies Night featuring the smooth jazz. That's right, the smooth jazz sounds of Delivery Point and a birthday celebration for our own Perry Small. Now let me tell you, it's going to be occurring at the entrance located at 15101 Dixie Highway. That's right, in Harvey, Illinois, for you smooth jazz cats. Now, tickets are $25 in advance, or you can get your jazz pass for only $60. That's right, all 3 shows for $60. Can you dig? You did? All right, so check this out. For more information, all you got to do, just go to the WVON.com and you can get tickets or more information. That's right, it is the 4th annual Smooth Jazz Crawl. WVON in the South Suburbs. Smooth jazz, smooth jazz, smooth jazz. And just in case you didn't know where you are, this is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, and sitting in with me.
You are one hep cat.
Cool dude. You dig. Remember that cool cat on Tom and Jerry when he had the cool, and they would play the jazz?
Yeah,
you dig. So that's where I get mine. You dig. It is, and then I mix it in with the Snoop interlude with the straight R&B. I think, you know what? I could do the smooth jazz a little bit. No, maybe not. All right, y'all. So look, we are talking these elections. Let's talk a little bit about the national scene and what happened yesterday. So we had 2 gubernatorial races that meant a lot to black people particularly.
Yes.
We had the Andrew Gillum race, which we saw in Florida. Gillum has conceded. Stacey Abrams, who was running to be the first black governor of Georgia, is down by quite a few, what is she down by, like a few thousand votes, 100 and some thousand votes? 90,000, I believe it is. Hold on, what is it right now? I'm going to get that number. Somebody get that number for me. But Stacey Abrams right now is down, and it's looking, she said she won't concede. She refuses to concede until every vote is counted. Now, I'm going to say that they say that she's down by 77,000 votes or something along those lines. So what's the likelihood there's 77,000 absentee ballots that would go in one direction? Even if 85,000. What's the odds of 85,000 absentees coming in this way?
Awful. She probably doesn't really have a chance. But this race has been a race that's been going on for 5 years. She's been fighting this guy for 5 years, and I understand. You're not going to get into a guy who's been kicking people off the polls since you've been fighting to try to get people on.
So she is, you know what I call this is, you know, Todd, this is one of them things when you're in elections, you say make them spend the money, right? Make them spend the money. One of the tactics in politics is to deplete your opponent's resources or to make them spend money, legal fees, whatever you can make them spend money on so that they can run out of resources. And I think that's probably one of the tactics. One of the things that we talked about yesterday, or that we've been talking about, Todd, is the celebrity factor. Like, these races became national. There were people here when I asked, what are you most excited about in Illinois in this election cycle? I can't tell you how many people said Stacey Abrams, Stacey Abrams, or Andrew Gillum, who they could not vote for. But one of the things that I always think about is when these races become celebrity-driven, particularly in places like Georgia, and you start bringing the uppity Negroes in, as like them good old boys start seeing when Oprah touched down with the private jet and she get in, you know what I'm saying? When you see John Legend, when Wakanda comes to Georgia, the good old boys get motivated.
Yes.
The people who invented voter, because you know Michelle Flagg is telling me that right now Stacey Abrams is down by the number of people that he kicked off of the rolls. But once again, Todd, can I tell you something? It used to be in Cook County, you could show up to the polling place, say you haven't voted in like four elections, and show up and they be like, I'm sorry. You'll need to go down to the Board of Elections so that you can re-register because we have cleaned up the polling sheets.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I keep telling y'all, the stuff that we talk about here.
Yeah, but it's different
Go
in
ahead.
Georgia. In Georgia, if you miss one election, they kick you off the sheet.
So let me ask you a question. Maybe. So if you know that the rules are set up to get you, you got to be ready to deal with the rules, right? So that means y'all need to vote. Don't let it get away. I just think this. I think that this case, so I'm rooting for Stacey Abrams. I am rooting for Stacey Abrams, but I'm just here to tell you. Just like in Illinois, we got see what just happened in Illinois yesterday? You think they ain't got that same system down in Georgia? So I think what you're seeing right now is I am completely, I told you I'm thinking about going back to the green team, man, if they'll have me. Because messing with you black folks is just too hard. It's too hard. You know they're breaking.
You know what my father taught me?
What?
Is that if you are not in the room, you cannot effectively make any change. If the green team is in a room by themselves deciding what they're going to do, and you're sitting on the outside yelling in the window, trying to get to the window.
Hey, let me in!
Yes.
Let me in!
You will never be able to change the game.
Open the door! Open the door! Please let us in. You know what, man? I'm going to tell you what. It was much easier being on the green team or being with the green team than it is being on the black team. It just was. It just was, man, because you know what? It was no emotion to it. At the end of the day, they was like, here go your cut. Move around. Let's do it.
Yes,
I was on fishing trips.
Green.
And then they tell us when we try to get the green, we crack. You know what? See, I'm about to, you know what? I got some thinking to do. We'll talk about it when we come back at the traffic and weather. Ooh. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, y'all make it hard to, it's hard to be with black folks because they mad at everything, and then it's like black people be mad at everything, and then when you show them what the deal is, they be like, nah, but I still ain't. Again.
Emotional? They're too emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that won't get you what you want. You can't, I mean, you have to have some emotion, but you got to use your sense. You can't let your emotion override what is going to be good for you. We'll cut around throws every once in a while.
Oh, I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm just telling you. I have I don't want Swain. Tell him I don't want Swain. I'm good. So I'm gonna tell y'all. That's okay. We'll just talk about it without it. No, you can't just be shading us and then. Anyway, pay Jeff Moody too. I'm sorry. I know I'm shady. So the thing here is, I don't know if there's a win personally, right? To being in this black fight, right? It's like I'm watching people get paid. I'm saying what's in it for the black people has worked for a lot of people, but me, right? It's like you go and you see these man black the little what's like Monique Davis's nephew or whatever grandson. Man, every time I see him, he'd be like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you," because he went from being a staffer to a $250,000 guy, right? Like you think about, I mean. So people have benefited from this process, and it's like there's no, I don't know how to say, there's no sustenance. It's like,
here, I'll give you something.
Go.
Pat Quinn would stand outside and pee inside the tent,
right.
On the outside. But what he had was always had a group that would keep him going. So when Pat's not in your face, there's somebody that's making sure that he always eats. He has some backing. Black people don't generally have that. If you are standing outside and peeing, you're generally peeing by yourself, and your substance is going to McDonald's. So,
right.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like right now, no, I don't. I would say that we don't have an inside-outside game like Pat Quinn does, and because quite frankly, a lot of the issues that Pat Quinn talks about, like everybody be like they all self-righteous, but man, you look at who did well, right? They use the governor's office to their advantage, but it's like we just don't seem to get it. Like I just feel like we don't get like play the freaking game.
We want to fight each other so much. It's hard to play the game if the people who are supposed to be on your team aren't playing. It's like Duke basketball. Duke beat the crap out of Kentucky yesterday. But they had 3 guys who scored like 20 points. But they played as a team. We don't like playing as a team. We don't want to give up our superstardom to be part of the team to make sure that we can get greater things. We'll take I'll take half of what we could get instead of getting the whole pie.
See? And in the meantime, so like, right? I think like everybody is willing to watch you pay the price. But man, they will watch you die. They will watch you bleed out. And if I was a preacher, like if I was a preacher, I could go, I bet you I could have people hooping and hollering, take them to Jesus and back, pass me a collection plate, and I'll be rolling.
I think you're right. I think you can have a really big church.
If I had a church, you think I could have a big church?
I think you can have a really big church.
You think so? The church of what's in it for the black people? Well, you know what? I want one of them churches like on Let's Do It Again. Remember when they was gambling to say build a church fund? Or Uptown Saturday.
You don't want that because he got run over in the end.
But what's it? Hey, bro. I can't. Whoever just texted me this, I can't see it. So man, it's like there's really nowhere to climb to. What's up, Todd?
I think more people are pissed off that Joe Quinville got fired than JB is governor.
More people you know. More people you know, right? I mean, black people are, there's a black guy on the front of hockey, but we ain't that far gone yet. Whoever's texting me, I can't click the links. So it's like, no, I think like people miss, like I don't know. I don't think that we really want power. Like I don't think we want it. I think that I don't know if I have the wherewithal to sacrifice my goals and aspirations personally, right? Which is kind of what you're talking about. But I'm saying, like, I don't know what the payoff is. And to me, it's like not the payoff like, oh, somebody's going to give me, but in a case. And so I'm going to sit down and I'm going to look at these elections because I really want to see, like, I'm going to look at the difference between the different ballot positions and what JB got, like, the fall off because he wasn't the top of the ticket.
Right.
Like, so I believe that if you look at the undervote, especially in the black wards, then you can kind of get a sense of what kind of impact we had, right? Not because how often do people skip the governor's race in the first thing, skip it. So I want to be able to look at that. But, you know, I do think that this government stuff becomes very consuming. Like, if I didn't care about government, I could probably go be rich. Like, I'm going to just tell y'all, them fools on that plane, this politics was great, but they was like, man, I'm on my way to San Diego. The other dude was like, yeah, I'm a Republican, but I also own, right? And this stuff becomes consuming for me. And I might need to take a break from the black people stuff. Because, man, we got a mayor's race coming up.
See, the way politics is supposed to work, for anybody, is you get in it, you move up the ladder, you meet people, and you use those contacts to help you make more. Because how many white people you know who are high in politics who don't have money?
Exactly. Everybody that gets in politics white gets rich.
Yeah.
Rich. Then they get on the phone and tell you. Then they'll put in the Capitol facts. He took 90,000. Check this out. We'll talk about it. It's a final. It's funny because people be interpreting you interpret my money now through a whole different perspective. I live way less than I used to live. Way less. You can't count mine. Where I've been and what I know and what I got now, this politics ain't been the thing. It ain't worked the same way it worked for the white boys. You are tuned in to Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. And Todd, we are talking, let's go back to local elections. Hey man, you know a lot about this one. Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle, who was reelected with no opposition, also a mayoral candidate. Todd, the trickle-down effect the trickle-down effect of the J.B. Pritzker money is part, in my estimation, of what happened with the county board. Everybody got some of that JB money and then said, how can I use this to my advantage? How can I use this to pummel my opponent or to become even more powerful? Now that is really the goal of politics. So I want to be clear that as we discuss this, I'm not mad at Toni Preckwinkle. I think that what she did was politically what you're supposed to do when you got a hammer. When you got a hammer, you pound out your enemies. Bust all this benevolence. And so let me say that I admire the chutzpah to go after Republicans in their own space. Ty, right now we are talking about the fact that she may have ousted the chairman of the Illinois Republican Party.
Yeah.
Tim Schneider. In his own backyard. Check it out. She also talked about the fact that she elected the first openly gay county board member, right? As well as Morrison, right? And then, how do you say, let me think if I could say this name. His name was Abdelnassar Rashid. Now, guess where he came from? Palos.
Uh-huh.
What's in Palos? The Arab community.
Yes.
All of the blunt sales and if you want to know where all the money in the black community is, where it goes to Palos. Because every corner store owner in Cook County lives in Palos. And they put one of their own in. And so now, check this out. Now as she seeks to expand her base, now she's got a foothold. By putting this first openly gay person in, she can now go sell that to the gay community. Watch out, Lori Lightfoot.
Good point.
Right? She's going to say, look, I gave you your first openly gay Latino politician. I mean, not Latino, gay politician. Then she can go to the Arab community who's got all of our money in the corner stores, and say, I gave you your own at the county. So now when they tax them, who you think is going to be advocating for higher taxes on cigarillos? Who's going to be advocating for the corner stores? And who will benefit from that? Because remember, who has the businesses in our community?
No, it's not us.
And so guess what? She just elected an Arab American who's from Palos, who can probably speak to that business community.
Sure.
Boy, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be some issues. And I don't know how well this bodes for black people. I just don't. I mean, and so Todd, talk to me about what it means for her.
When you say that, you mean that the expansion of Toni Preckwinkle's power?
That too. But
that doesn't bode well for black people?
No, it does. When has it?
Well,
give me an example.
So far.
How did it do for you?
No, it didn't do anything. I'm still trying to get that ice.
What is this? You're sticking me.
Yeah. No, you're right. She has become very powerful as the chairperson of the party. That's where this really comes from. And 30 years ago there was like 7 Republicans on the board and only 10 Democrats. And now look at this. Well, it might be what, 3?
3. And actually 2. Is it 3 or 2? She let 3 of the 5 were targeted. There'll be 2 left. Peter Silvestri being one. Now she said
it was a tough race, wasn't it?
But she decided to leave Peter Silvestri alone. You know why she said she wasn't going to mess with him? Because he's a moderate Republican. No, actually, he is a moderate Republican. But actually, he's the guy who he was the guy who took the hatchet to Dorothy Brown. Remember?
Yes, he did carry
And so when she wanted to hide her hand and go after Dorothy Brown, he was the one who took as the Republican. See, man, how they do that. And so in being the Republican traitor, right? He's the Republican Benedict Arnold because he still sneaks into the meeting. I'll kill him, and then we can make it look like, and then all the shenanigans. Todd, I'm just gonna tell you, man. I just don't know what's next for black people. What's next? But I'm gonna tell you what, undisputed champion in Cook County right now, Queen, Madam Toni Preckwinkle. We'll be back after traffic and the weather. So, man, you think about it, y'all. Like, now they're gonna go. The next thing, if I was a DuPage County board member, I'd be scared shitless. I'm telling you, they coming for every school board. Cause think about this: there's no patronage. There's no Shackman in the suburbs. Them Republicans be chopping it up. Now, can you imagine somebody showing the Democrats how to take all that? Can you imagine what happens when they get the tollway? Right? Because he's going to get to a point. The tollway was how the white boys got rich. They'll still get rich, though. Because the road builders, the road builders are a cartel for real.
They are.
They are.
Cartel.
Yeah, they are a straight up cartel. I just don't know where we are after this election. So my thing is,
Did you ask for this a minute ago? This was from 7:32 this morning.
okay. Yeah, but I don't know what the benefit of running up the hill is with all of these issues. It's like I could just go talk to my client. It's like people say starve, 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 starve. It's like, and I think that people, I don't think you understand what's possible if you've never experienced it. And so it's easy for people to look at what you're doing and be like, oh, you good.
You just described the problem black children have.
Did you see the coverage from the Trump rally from Missouri 2 nights ago where the person fell sick at the rally?
Mm-hmm.
The whole stadium, somewhere over 12,000 people, broke out in Amazing Grace.
Oh, wow.
As they took the guy out on a stretcher.
Okay.
That is kind of funny. What do you expect, huh?
No, and I'm saying like right now.
I know I said something. I forgot what it was.
Oh, the problem with black children.
Oh, yeah. You stated the problem. It's a problem with the black neighborhood. We don't know enough about the outside world, so we don't prepare our children to get things that we don't know about. That's where the money is. All the stuff we don't know about. Unfortunately, I mean, how can you prepare your children to go work at Hewlett Packard if nobody around you knows what's going on at Hewlett Packard? Or we don't know enough of what's going on in Google or Amazon and how they're getting these things to work. So it's easy for them to keep us out of those jobs because we don't have the skills to get to that place. And even if you're going to a technical college or if you're going to the University of Illinois or whatever, you got to know or have some kind of idea what you need to know before you get there. And then you can decide what path you're going to take. Like I say, John Tyler lived in Pill Hill, and John said, I'm going to be a ceramic engineer. And he went to U of I, and that's what he did. I didn't even know what a ceramic engineer was. And they deal with chips and heat and all that stuff. But, how can you decide you want to be a ceramic engineer if you've never seen one? Never heard of it. Nobody in your neighborhood ever mentioned it. That's where we are. Got to get better.
Country that sent to America in the 18th century hundreds of soldiers to fight for this country's liberty. But my mother taught me something else. She taught me about love.
My dad was a physician, an old-fashioned community physician, and he went to medical school in Haiti, trained in New York, and then came to practice here in Chicago on the South Side, often coming home with a block of cheese and a fruit cake, and because he refused to reject patients because they didn't have enough money to pay for their services. He believed in health care as a human right, and Republican attorney generals right now are trying to take that away. And you better believe I'm going to live out my father's legacy and fight for access to health care.
The Grammy Award-winning Joyful Voices of the Soweto Gospel Choir return to Symphony Center Friday, November 16th with performances of their world-renowned interpretation of Amazing Grace and unforgettable versions of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. For tickets, visit cso.org. This is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson, and sitting in with me, as he has been all week, former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger.
I think people really would have liked to have seen that expressive dance. It was very good.
You saw me, because you would only see the expressive dance if you are watching on Facebook Live. If you want to watch us on Facebook Live, go to the WVON page, or you can go to the Maze Jackson page. All right, I'm a little, that dance has gotten me in this hot studio. Hot. Okay, so look, Todd. So, man, talk to me about last night. Give me a snapshot of what you took away from yesterday.
You know what was interesting is that Kwame Raoul took a swing at President Trump and brought in how he, disrespected the Haitians. And Susan Mendoza took like 3 swings at Governor Romney as he's going out the door. And it was interesting because just about all the other candidates' tones were more of, oh, I won, what a nice person that other guy was. But she decided, I guess that's starting off a run for mayor.
But well, let me tell you what I thought it was. I thought it was hardcore pandering to the labor unions. Who were out on election day circulating her petitions, right? So if you went over into the white areas over some of those big guys I think it was Local 150. Local 150 is already on board. And so if you heard her talking about labor unions and kicking Bruce Rauner, because he was their public enemy number 1. And so what you saw was a blatant appeal to them and to fire them up. Because clearly, with everything going on, ain't nobody really... Let me just back up. So what we know now is that there's going to be a mayoral race. Can I tell you, I thought the way she operated was classless. Could you play that back for me? Play that back. I am not her biggest fan, but I feel like you won. It's like this morning I got up. Now, I wasn't in the race, but I talked a lot of smack, but I am literally right here on the radio station eating crow. Go, 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 go. Shout out to Senator Kwame Raoul, our Attorney General-elect. But I feel like there's sometimes, You just don't kick a person when they're down. Todd, do people do that to you? Like, did they, like, when you finally were on your way out, were people gracious, or were they like, nah, boo, boo?
It depends on who it was. It was interesting. My last day, I'm leaving, and there's a young white guy who's obviously working for Tony Preckwinkle, and Winbush and I, Winbush was my age, were just about to go out the door, and this guy gives us a look like we were the devil. I don't know where it came from, because I'm sure he didn't really know me. But other than that, you know, I still get some shade from like white people from like Palatine or Bartlett, like we're on Facebook or something. They'll talk crap all the time. But mostly people they can say, man, they raked you over the coals, or the party ran you over with a bus. They may say something like that. They don't say that anymore, but that in the early days, people would say things.
I mean, I think all the black people, for the most part, saw it. Like, I mean, I still think there's no way in the world that they would have done. Can you? What? Ooh.
You know what? And I know that's kind of like one of your hookups now. But what Mike Flannery said yesterday was a microcosm of my 4 years. So you said to Mike Flannery, what about that car that was found that belonged to Tony Preckwinkle with all the campaign literature, and how she finally fired her chief of staff? And then you say, what if that had been Ty Stroger? His response was not, we may have treated him bad, we may have worked him over. His response is, we probably would have found out that the driver was an 8th Ward member. So what he was saying was, it would have been Ty Stroger's fault. No matter what, it would have been my fault. So, yeah, I mean, I still get that kind of shade. That was basically shade.
And you know what? I didn't even take it like that. But now that you explained it, I get it. See, I thought he was saying, yeah, we would have blamed it on you. I felt like he was admitting, which I guess he was, but he wasn't doing it in kind of a nice way. He was just, he was being his true self. Y'all, I'm just going to say, we got, you know, when we come back, because, you know, we got a short show, I want to talk about what happens next. What do these outcomes mean to the mayoral election? And now that and to here to discuss that with us will be Amara Inya, who stands to be the recipient or the beneficiary of this millennial turnout. Has she become even that more credible? Should Tony Preckwinkle be shaking in her political boots right now if she wants to run for mayor? We'll talk about it when we come back. Tony Preckwinkle got undervoted significantly too.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who were telling me that they weren't going to vote for Tony. They were going to write in some other name, but they were going to do anything. Yeah.
Did you vote for Tony?
I've never voted for Tony. I don't ever see that happening in the future.
You sure you can't let bygones be bygones?
Oh, you know, only thing I have against Tony is she is, in essence, she has helped keep bread out of my children's mouths by making me her enemy in my space, which is a political space. She has made it very difficult for me to bring home the baby.
To capitalize on what you got it's like my area to make money. Well, I'm gonna stop. See, but that's an example of how it works. Thanks, Reggie. We agree already.
And now that she's even more powerful, you know, people don't want to be on her bad side. And the feeling is, if you work with Ty Stroger, you will get on her bad side.
That's the feeling that it is with Mays Jackson, too, around the state. Right? So, Ty, why you don't lobby in Springfield then? Because she hates on you in Springfield, too?
No, I'm going to that's my next goal, is to lobby in Springfield.
I think ComEd should give you a contract. I think ComEd should give you a big old, man, they gave Mike Noonan a contract. They gave Mike Noonan a bunch of contracts.
I'm not against you, I'm with you.
They gave Vic a lot of contracts. Man, they didn't grow up with them.
No, they did not.
They did not grow up with them.
No.
They didn't come up and become made by their father. I think you should be working for ComEd. I think you should get a big fat contract from ComEd.
As you well know, Maze, you need a base to work from. And literally, if you get one contract, then you can go out and hustle and get more. But first you got to be able to pay your bills and pay your cost of being in Springfield and all that stuff. So, hey, I take a contract. I don't care what size it is from ComEd, so I can get out there and you know, because, you know, it's funny.
Don't you got to connect to ComEd?
Yeah, I know somebody.
You know somebody at ComEd? Because I think they watching.
But, you know, what's interesting is, like, my relationship with elected officials has always been great. You know, only the white Northsiders will, you know, give me the side eye, but not even all of them. I know a lot of people, and it's actually touched a lot of people. So it's not like I'm completely on the outs, just the more powerful people
can block you from eating.
That's exactly right.
And think that's the whole point. Like, shit, I can't make Todd's wrong right when I can't even make my own damn wrong right. Right? It's like I can't, and I'm not tripping on you, but it's like understand that Todd's thing is the same situation. We doing it in the same scenario.
Okay, that's why I say we're alike. We're so much alike. Yeah.
Now,
see, for you, Maze, I think for you, it's really going somewhere and running a race somewhere that doesn't have to be this state, and you know, making somebody relevant in a congressional race or whatever. You show your chops. Traveling is probably more of what would in the political sense, would make you a star in this.
But what I've like really ultimately now, I don't even want to be a
You've had enough of that campaign?
I don't want to I want to do this. I want to be a media personality that comments and that is able to take what I know here and make money from it. Yeah. Right? And so I am like, what I want to do is be able to sell my brand. I want people to say, Maze, we want you to come to our store because we know that you got 1 million people that follow, watch, listen, blah, blah, blah. And you come
in that new space.
Yes.
Like
and
my son, who's 18, he tells me all the time, he's the one who keeps me almost hip. And he'll say, oh, you know, I'm listening to some guy on YouTube and he's got 100,000 followers. I'm like, this guy's got 100. What's he saying? I mean, what made him this? And those 100,000 followers make him money. And then I see these kids doing these weird dances, and they go around the country and get paid to do a dance for like 3 minutes. So I know there's a space where people are doing more than what they do on.
Yeah, it's like, again, part of the problem is when you the community guy, you get the community. Everybody wants you to do the community stuff. Yeah. Right? So it's like, Maze, I need your help. Don't nobody really got the money to pay for what. So you wind up just helping people, right? The same thing that I talk about here, or the same thing that people call me and say, can you help me? If it's a white boy and if I'm working for the man, right? Yeah. I get paid for that, right? When the white people call me, they call me and they say, man, we want you to come here. This is how much money we got for it. But when the black folks don't see it that way. They like, man, this is your duty, right? Like they feel like this is my duty to be in this space, which I love. It's like all I started out was sharing information and talking to people, and it has become this thing, which I'm not tripping on, but it's like you have to feed it at some point. And this is not an appeal, but I have to make a decision on how do I eat, period. Like in general.
People have asked me questions and advice all the time, but no one's paid me.
Right. You saying Johnny Cochran was wealthy and did free stuff? I'm with. Okay, so you keep giving me these. Johnny, you can do more free stuff when you're wealthy. Okay. When you're not wealthy, you have to subsist. So you got to get to wealth to give away. So check it out. People always talk about they want the Ford Foundation to give them money. The only reason the Ford Foundation is significant is because of Ford Motor Company for profit, putting money into it, right? We get it in reverse. We want you to be altruistic your whole life and then give away stuff free. Okay, cool. I'm done. Understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Boom. My wealth was in this business. Rising up, back on the streets. Took my time, did my chances. With the distance, now I'm back on my feet. Just a man and his will to survive. It's so many times, it happens so fast. You trade your passion for glory. Don't lose your grip on the dreams of the past. You must fight just to keep them alive. Eye of the tiger is the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of our rivals. And our last known survivor stalks his prey in the night. I'll be working these words in the eye of the tiger. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting in with me is Mr. Todd Stroger. That's right, he's the former Cook County Board President. And Todd, you know how we do at the top of the hour. Gotta say what's up to the WVON Morning Show team. What's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, as well as Miss Sonia Escobar, the musical conductor of the Soul Play. Now check this out. Y'all know you know me. I said I have been suspect of the millennial turnout. I've been like, man, these young people be talking that smack. I said, man, I remember the last time Chance had a rally. He had a concert, and then he said, let's march to the polls. And them young people marched right down the middle of the street, and they saw the line. I was like, man, bust that. And they left. So, and so, I'm going to tell you, you know me, man. I'm just suspect of a lot of stuff. But yesterday, the millennials showed up and showed out. And I'm going to tell you, it got me to really think. I was talking about this last night after I was celebrating the victory of Commissioner Carrie Steele as the Commissioner of Water Rec, 6-year term. I was talking about Amara Enya and this turnout of young millennials, and could it change the race, the mayoral race? Here to talk to us about that and the impact of the millennials in this race and the potential impact as it relates to the upcoming mayoral election and how it could push her forward is the Queen of Wakanda. Open up the force field, move the vibranium 2 days in a row. It is land the plane. Land the plane. It is Amara Enya. Amara, welcome back to the WVON Morning Show. How you feeling this morning? So, Amara, tell me this. First of all, how many signatures did you get yesterday? Because I know that you had people at every polling place sucking up all the signatures of those registered voters. How did that go?
Yes, it went fantastically well. So we had people all around the city at polling places all around the city collecting signatures all day from when the polls opened to when the polls closed. So yesterday was a really big day for us. All
right. So, Amara, and one of the things that we saw yesterday was that, you know me, right? I'm suspect. I'm like, have chicken. Nobody want no vegan stuff at the rally. We want some chicken and pizza. And I have been suspect of the millennials. Not that I don't believe in them, but I've been suspect of their turnout in the voting process. I've seen them so disengaged from the process. But Amara, yesterday, the millennials showed up and showed out, and they even beat the seniors. Now, beating the seniors, I think that's a game changer long term. Talk to me about the millennial turnout and what advantage you think that gives you.
Well, I think it gives a
a lot of advantages. So just thinking about the numbers, it's the highest millennial voter turnout since 1986. So that is a huge deal. It even surpassed some of the other big election cycles that we've had in the past. And that's saying a lot. What it means is that the sleeping giant is waking up. Usually we talk about the likely voters, and I think that most times individuals running for office focus only on that narrow slice of most likely voters, of which seniors are a major part and a critical part of the voting population. However, what we're seeing is that younger voters are paying attention, and they are actually getting engaged, and that is what happened last night. You saw them come out in huge numbers because they actually care about what's happening in the city, and I think they are thinking about the future. They are thinking about the kind of city, the kind of state, the kind of country that they want to live in, and they are recognizing that they actually can get engaged by voting, and that's one way that they can make their voice heard.
Now, Amara, how do you think this will change the way people have to campaign in the mayor's race? You know, I always focus on 2Ds and 3Ds. And for that, 2Ds and 3Ds are people who have voted 2 out of 3 times in the last Democratic primary, or 3 out of 3 times. Now, it seems like there may be we usually focus on 2 and 3Ds and homeowners. Millennials don't tend to be homeowners and all of that. So how do we find those people?
Well, you meet them where they are. I think one of the things that is unique about our campaign versus other campaigns is that we're actually not relying simply on the usual formula. Homeowners are important, seniors are important, they are all incredibly important, but our campaign has always from the beginning been focused on those who are simply overlooked by those who are running for office most of the time, and that is younger voters who are actually out in their communities, in their jobs, they're engaged in organizations. You have to meet them where they are. And it is also those who've been marginalized or ignored, whether because of where they live, so those on the lower end of the socioeconomic scale, or folks who live in neighborhoods where they are doing okay, but they don't like what's happening, for example, in Chicago public schools, or they don't like the fact that their property taxes have increased, but no one is really talking to them. So the formula for us has always been that 70% of eligible voters who didn't even bother to vote in the last election, or were simply not even addressed or catered to in the last election. There's a whole universe out there that we've already been targeting in our campaigning.
We are talking to Amara Enya. She is the Queen of Wakanda, also candidate for mayor. Yesterday, we saw millennial turnout even greater than the baby boomers. Todd, what are your thoughts?
I didn't trust these guys until now. but as we were saying earlier in the morning, they are now true adults. So, I mean, they have responsibilities, and when you have more responsibility, you tend to care more about what's going on. So, it makes sense.
Well, Amara, let me tell you, I think this is really I know people sat up yesterday. And I know that this is probably going to cause a big challenge for Tony Preckwinkle, who has not been able to seemingly clear the field. And now this is probably going to build you some more momentum. Let me ask you a question. Did you see a spike in fundraising yet?
Oh, we've definitely seen a spike in fundraising. What we're seeing is that not only are they willing to give, now they might not be, especially if we're talking about millennial voters, they might not be giving a large donor amount of those who've been in their careers for 40 years. But what they are doing is they're giving not just their money, but their time. And so the reach that we have across the city is largely because the enthusiasm about the campaign means that people are willing to work and put their time into supporting the campaign. And you're just not seeing that with other candidates who might be able to reach those large established donor bases, but the enthusiasm isn't there, and they run into that wall because their campaigns simply don't resonate with most Chicagoans.
Well, you know what, Amara, I am telling you, this mayor's race is heating up, and I am going to tell you, if right now, what happened yesterday, if people weren't considering you in the top tier, they have to now. Amara, tell people how they can catch up with you.
So they can catch up with me on the web, amaraenya.com. Also, we will be all around the city. We'll be at Power Hub small businesses across the city. So check us out on social media. All the information is there. It's a way to support small businesses who support our campaign that is launching this week. So we're looking forward to seeing more people signing petitions and joining our team.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our very own queen of Wakanda, Amara Inya. You know, she got to go because she is out here trying to win this mayor's race, and I think she just got a leg up. Amara, we appreciate you. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday.
Always a pleasure.
All right, Todd. So, you know what? Just to the WVON family, I think I came up, Todd, I got into politics as a precinct captain, as a junior precinct captain, and I did some volunteer work, and I climbed up the ladder. I eventually became
What ward were you?
a Young Democrat. I was in the 27th Ward, Young Democrats. I got brought into the political game. I learned this whole thing from Alderman Burnett in the 27th Ward, and it was like a blessing and a curse. It's like, I love this game. I love politics. But it is also because it is, I have so much passion for it, sometimes it is blinding. And then you combine that with having, sometimes, Todd, I wish I never would have become a lobbyist. I wish I would have stayed blissfully ignorant and never...
You know how the sausage is made.
Exactly. And I wish that I would have never seen that there was money, contracts, and opportunity. I wish I would have stayed the naive black guy that they could send over to a different place and knock somebody's head off on a political side. And, I could get my little couple $1,000s and mind my business and climb the ladder. I don't know now where to climb to. Like when you're in the process and you're in the machine or not, and it's not the same machine, but the goal is to get in, to learn the business, you build relationships, you work, you grind, then somebody says you on the team, like it happens for the white kids. Mm-hmm. And then the next thing you know, they say that's a good kid and you got to build for your family, and then they give him contracts and he gets to build houses, and the money isn't a concern.
Right.
And I saw it and participated in it, and then said that there's not enough of us here. And this wasn't for the black people thing came up. And, it was an innocent question. And then I started asking, and I asked it publicly. And I didn't really think it was a bad thing. I didn't think that it would eventually lead to me losing income, losing friends, losing relationships. I didn't. I thought I was doing a good thing, right? Trying to wake people up, say, give us our cut. You black folks, we could, that I just was like, how you see something and you want everybody to share in it and be like, it's millions and billions of dollars, and y'all, we over here starving and it's a big pile of money over here. And in the process, I got carried away with my people because I love black people. I love them. And the things that I know to be true politically, I want to not believe them, but they prove themselves out time and time and time again. Mm-hmm. Last night, it proved itself out time and time and time again. And I hear black folks telling you, go commit suicide. Yeah, man. And I'm not going to say that. But I'm going to tell you, it was a lot easier being on the team than off the team. I always thought that eventually somebody would say, you know what, that kid makes sense. You know what, click him in. And then I would, like I did when I went to Springfield, try and open the door for everybody. When I see white folks and they get on, when I see like the green team and they get on, mm-hmm. You know what they do? As soon as they get there, they think of every friend they got, anybody that could benefit, and they open the door.
Right. And
they say, come on in. Get what you can get. I don't care how qualified you are. I don't care. Did you go to Mount Carmel? Did you go to blah, blah, blah? What parish were you? And it was my goal one day to build something like that where we would open the door for all of our people. But it seems like we prefer to keep the door. We don't want to swing the barn doors wide open. We just want to crack it a little. Let just a few people in and say, y'all don't really want to come in here. It's not, you don't want to see what's in here. I always wonder why Springfield was 200 miles away. Because they don't want you to see the money, every bill, how much money goes to. Todd, I don't know, man. I think I might just, I might have to start asking what's in it for me. I tried to, I got beat over the head for what's in it for the black people. Maybe it's time for what's in it for me. I think maybe I should give up. Renee, you on the Talk of Chicago.
Oh, we got a call.
Your thoughts? Renee?
Hey, Jackson, I just want to say thank you. Do not give up. This is just the beginning. Don't get discouraged. We need you. You have opened our eyes up, and you are the reason why I'm getting politically involved and interested in letting my children know. My 17-year-old, 18 millennials came out because they want to know what's in it for the black people. So please, please don't give up. It's just the beginning. God's got us, and we need you.
Thank you, Renee. I appreciate you. Can y'all tell God to make it rain? Because I'm going to tell you.
No, you're right. One thing I've learned in these last few days is that if you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of anybody else?
And that's what they tell you on the airplane, too.
Years.
Can you hear? I can't hear. Can you still hear me?
I can't hear anymore.
I can't hear a thing. All right. So, there you go. All right. So, yeah, Ty, people tell you all the time, when you get on the airplane, they tell you, they say, hey, if you can't, don't put the safety mask on yourself before you put it on anybody else. All right, check this out. Don't forget WVON's 4th annual Suburban Jazz Crawl. It kicks off November 16th, goes through the 18th. Sunday's Jazz Super Brunch is November 18th. It's classically delicious as we pay tribute to Billie Holiday with Opal Staples from the legendary Staples family. It'll be at Flavor Restaurant, 17575 Kedzie in Hazelcrest. Now, tickets are $25 in advance, or get your Jazz Pass for $60. That's right, $60. Come to all 3 shows for $60. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit WVON.com. Y'all, that is my time today because we got to go to Urban Business Roundtable. So for Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, for Miss Sonia Escobar, the musical conductor of the Soul Plane, and Todd Stroger, I am the host of the WVON Morning Show. And if you don't like it, you can tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace. They cut me again.
Live from the WVON newsroom, here's our news now.
Cloudy skies on the chilly side. Temperatures right now in the 30s. We're headed somewhere in the low
Yep.
40s.
The dead brothel owner from the Bunny Ranch.
Just the day after, last night's election saw record voter turnout. The unofficial turnout in Chicago before the polls even closed shows that voters between 25 and 34 years old was the largest turnout of any group. Young mayoral candidate Amara Enya tells Mace this morning that millennial turnout signals that the sleeping giant is waking up.
Man,
Usually we talk about the likely voters.
I'm going to tell you, it's a lot of people need to be looking to find out where their millennials are. There's got to be something besides a senior breakfast.
The voting population. However, what we're seeing is
No, you're right.
Because that mayoral race, if this goes like that, man, you ain't going to even be able to predict the turnout.
Well, the 2034
Amara Enya is the
last,
director of the Austin Chamber of Commerce and a WVON commentator. J.B. Prisker has been elected Illinois' 43rd governor. The billionaire Democrat pretty much cruised his way to victory with more than 50% of the vote.
problem is,
Throughout this campaign, I've
give
ended
people
every
the
speech
information
with one question,
and
and
give
I
them
want to
some
ask it to you.
Social,
Are you
right? And it's like, here's the problem. Your social program can't be created by somebody who think that just because I put up a Facebook post that's going to let everybody know. You have to grow, build, right? Like, so even what we do here, we grow and build it, and then you build an audience. Well, I would tell you the strategy of how he uses social and digital. Because I think that, let us know if you'd like us to present to you our digital precinct captain plan. Because I think it's important.
see, that's got
Peace.
some.